The second last episode of WWE SmackDown before this year's Survivor Series, War Games, will air from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, tonight. Last week, the Bloodline 2.0 found its fifth member for War Games, as Bronson Reed joined forces with Solo Sikoa and his men. Roman Reigns, the USOs, and Sami Zayn have yet to find their team's last member. At the end of SmackDown last week, Roman Reigns was seen calling Paul Heyman, but the Wiseman's number was out of service. After being away from WWE programming since June, the 59-year-old veteran could finally return tonight, and he may have the fifth member of Roman Reigns' team by his side. Heyman had asked for help from CM Punk on SmackDown after Clash at the Castle 2024, as he was suffering under Solo Sikoa's leadership. He may finally get that help in the form of the best in the world joining forces with the original tribal chief. It would be an interesting twist, as the two men didn't see eye to eye and had heat with each other in the past. This would also be a smart way to intensify Seth Rollins and CM Punk's rivalry if the Visionary shows up tonight to help the Og bloodline, but loses his potential spot to the Second City Saint. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa's bloodline collided again on last week's episode of SmackDown. Sikoa and his men got the upper hand as Bronson Reed showed up to help them. Another brawl could take place between the two sides tonight, as the Og bloodline may want payback. This time, the OTC and his teammates may stand tall if they can find a fifth member. In another scenario, the Bloodline 2.0 could further strengthen their team by bringing Hikuleo to get a 6-on-4 advantage over the Og bloodline. He may wreak havoc and take out everyone on his own. Seth Rollins has been feuding with Bronson Reed for the past few months. The Australian star's involvement in the Bloodline Civil War led many fans to think that the Visionary would help Roman Reigns, the USOs, and Sami Zayn. However, Rollins refused to help them on the latest episode of WWE Raw. His decision could change on SmackDown tonight because Solo Sikoa cost the former Universal Champion his match against Reed this past Monday. Reigns and Rollins working together at Survivor Series, the same event they debuted at as The Shield 12 years ago, would be a huge thing. As Roman Reigns could not contact Paul Heyman last week, he and other members of the original bloodline may be focused on bringing back the Wiseman tonight. The WWE Hall of Famer was last seen on the Blue Brand in June, where he was assaulted by Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, following his refusal to acknowledge Sikoa as the new tribal chief. It is possible that the Bloodline 2.0 reveals tonight that they kidnapped Heyman, making things more personal with Roman Reigns and his team ahead of Survivor Series, War Games. The Bloodline storyline remains one of WWE's most captivating tales, filled with drama, betrayal, and power plays that keep fans hooked. As cracks within the faction widen and family loyalties are tested, Roman Reigns and his closest allies Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa are faced with the challenge of restoring order. The tribal chief has been the backbone of this saga, but recent events suggest that even he may need reinforcements. With a mix of surprises and alliances on the horizon, the original bloodline, Og bloodline, could be set to shake things up on WWE SmackDown in monumental ways. Here are 4 possible directions the storyline could take, including the introduction of a giant and an unexpected collaboration with a real-life rival. Roman Reigns has ruled WWE as the head of the table, but the ongoing rebellion by his cousins, Jimmy and Jey Uso, has made his position more precarious than ever. While Reigns is a master strategist, recent betrayals may force him to consider an unorthodox solution, seeking help from a real-life rival. Enter Seth Rollins, Reigns' former Shield brother and current World Heavyweight Champion. Though the two have a history of animosity, including Rollins defeating Reigns via disqualification at the 2022 Royal Rumble, their shared past and mutual respect could pave the way for a temporary alliance. Rollins' chaotic energy, paired with Reigns' calculated leadership, would make for an unlikely but compelling duo. Imagine Rollins stepping onto SmackDown with a smirk, acknowledging their history before offering his services. This alliance could not only strengthen Reigns' hold on the bloodline, but also serve as a callback to the Shield's dominance, a nostalgic yet fresh twist in the storyline. This move would also blur the lines between kayfabe and reality, as fans know the two stars share a deep friendship outside the ring. Their collaboration could provide an edge that keeps SmackDown buzzing. Solo Sikoa has been one of the most loyal enforcers in WWE history, standing by Reigns through thick and thin. As tensions escalate, Solo might decide that brute strength is the only way to protect the tribal chief and maintain the bloodline's dominance. Enter a giant, someone like Omos, or a towering newcomer from WWE's developmental roster. Omos, in particular, fits the bill perfectly. Standing at 7'3" and already a dominant force, his alignment with Solo and Reigns would immediately tip the scales in their favor. The visual of Omos standing behind Reigns and Solo would be a statement to the rest of WWE. The bloodline is not just a family, but an unstoppable force. Omos' presence would also serve as a deterrent to Jimmy and Jey Uso, who might think twice before challenging their former leader with such a colossal threat on his side. Alternatively, WWE could use this opportunity to debut a fresh talent from NXT, a giant wrestler whose arrival would send shockwaves through the roster. Solo introducing this ally would further establish him as more than just Reigns' enforcer. It would highlight his ability to take initiative and secure the faction's future. The tension between Jimmy and Jey Uso has been simmering ever since Jimmy betrayed Roman Reigns at Night of Champions. While the two brothers have largely stood united against Reigns, cracks in their relationship are starting to show. Roman and Heyman, masters of psychological warfare, could exploit this rift to dismantle the Usos' alliance. Imagine Heyman delivering a fiery promo on SmackDown, planting seeds of doubt in Jey's mind by questioning Jimmy's true intentions. "Jimmy didn't save you, he saved himself," Heyman might argue, pointing out instances where Jimmy acted in his own interest. To escalate matters, Reigns could orchestrate situations where Jimmy inadvertently costs Jey a match or a crucial moment, fueling Jey's frustration. This manipulation would eventually lead to a dramatic confrontation, with Jey torn between his brother and the bloodline. A split between the USOs would not only deepen the storyline, but also set the stage for emotional, high-stakes matches between the brothers, a potential WrestleMania classic in the making. Roman Reigns' persona thrives on power and dominance, but recent events have shaken his image as the unchallenged tribal chief. To reassert his authority, Reigns could take SmackDown by storm with a bold declaration. He is not just the leader of the bloodline, but the ultimate head of the table for the entire WWE Universe. This could involve Reigns calling out WWE legends who have questioned his leadership, such as The Rock or John Cena, and demanding their acknowledgement. While The Rock's involvement in the storyline has been heavily speculated but unconfirmed, this segment could serve as a teaser for a future clash between the two. Reigns could also solidify his claim by targeting other champions, including Seth Rollins or Gunther, asserting that their titles are secondary to his dominance. This would elevate Reigns' character to an almost godlike status, reinforcing his role as WWE's top star while setting up potential dream matches.